Yes, sir, please.
Thank you once again for having me here. All right, so we'll start where we left yesterday, basically in my session, and then probably yesterday's session, my session was kind of monologue, but I would like to make it a dialogue today so that there will be an interactive session, right? We'll get into some sort of activities. I'll give you time to brainstorm and then come up with the plans. I'll share some topics and then there will be a breakout rooms, right? So all the participants, basis 2-3 numbers, they'll be joining in certain rooms that will be assigned to each and every participant. And then probably you can brainstorm on certain topic and then come up and any of the group member can present the idea, or maybe collaborative, maybe 1 or 2 people. But it would be great that one representative from the group would like to present the idea. All right, great. Let me just share my screen once again. All right, so let me know if you are able to see my screen and I am audible properly.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Your voice is fine.
Great, and can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you so much. All right, so I'll start from where we left actually. So there are certain queries that came up at the end of the session, my session, and then people started asking related to employee engagement and then happiness, how to measure the happiness and all. So when we talk about measuring the KPIs in talent acquisition and other functions, quite easy because people are on a day-to-day basis, they are capturing all these metrics and then they're creating the dashboard. But when it comes to creating the dashboard for employee engagement metrics, so it becomes quite difficult because we have to think about what sort of metrics that we can capture, what would be the metrics and basis the organization, business, and the teams. So in order to make you understand, I've created, however, it was too short time for me, but I tried to create something for you guys so that we'll be able to understand. So there are 10 metrics that we can capture under the employee engagement. Yesterday I was talking about the happiness, the alignment, and ambassadorship. So there are 10 metrics. You can see out here that the relationship with the peers, that is one metrics that you can capture. And for the slides, I would discuss about like how you can capture and what would be the criteria regarding capturing all these metrics and how you can calculate all these metrics. So as you can see out here, that relationship with peers, relationship with manager, then alignment, ambassadorship, the feedback, personal growth within the organization, then satisfaction, wellness, recognition, and happiness. These are 10 broad categories, metrics under employee engagement activity, employee engagement domain that we can capture and show it to the business, and we can further do some sort of analysis and give the insight to the business. So here you can see the and it is made in Excel itself. Let me make it very clear. One lady asked yesterday that other than Excel, what are the other platforms? So again, I would like to mention that you don't need a fancy or high technical platform to create a dashboard, because it's quite a interactive dashboard and it's quite simple dashboard that you can create within the Excel itself. Because all these you're talking about Tableau, Power BI, or any other platform like Looker. So it is all visualization tool. And you need data sources for the conversion into the graphs, graphics, and visualization. And all things that you see here that is made in Excel itself. All right, so we can further calculate the overall engagement score of the organization, right? So 10 is the highest, and then in the scale of 10, what is the engagement score? So this is a dummy data that I'm presenting it to you, and the number of participants. So let's say if you've created a employee engagement dashboard, and then you want to capture certain metrics. So I said that 10 different metrics that falls in the employee engagement category. So basis that you can prepare the questionnaire and then tag them under the submetrics. So we can also discuss about the submetrics because we are talking about metrics. And when I say 10 different metrics and further, there are submetrics, could be, you can say subcategories or maybe a tag that you have to align with all these metrics, right? So you can see the participation, 23% participation, and what we are driving. So under each and every metrics, you can say the growth, 8.4, that this is out of 10 in the scale of 1 to 10, right? And then you can also calculate employee net promoter score. So as I mentioned here, like it's likely, like it is a reflection wherein the employees are likely your employees are recommending the organization, right? So the score will be calculated by subtracting percentage of detractors. So basically what detractors are there, I've shown it here. So you can see that 21% are the promoters. So it means when you throw questions and when the employees are getting questions, they are likely to rate between 9 to 10 in the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being highest and 1 being the lowest. So these promoters are rating the organization under certain metrics. It's 9 or 10. And 5% detractors are there. It means they are rating the various metrics under employee engagement program. It's a 0 to 6. Either they are rating 2, 3, 4, or 0, or maybe 6. So till 6 is the people who are rating 6, it means they are detractors. And then 10% are passive. Passive responses are there, wherein it's neutral. You can say there are neutral comments wherein it's neither promoter nor detractors. So 7 to 8, they're rating almost 7 to 8 against each and every metrics. And then 64% people, they skipped and they didn't rate, right? So this is how like we can calculate and basis like percentage of promoters minus percentage of detractors, that comes your employee net promoter score. This is how you can see out here. And you can also capture that what is the difference if you can further analyze that last month, what was the engagement rate, what was the NPS for last month, maybe quarter to quarter or year on year or month on month. You can compare within your dashboard that what was my employee net promoter score last month or last year or maybe last September and this September. So you can further do the comparison and show it, present it to the business. So you can, it also throws the data wherein you can also see that, okay, fine, there are a metrics that relationship with manager. So it has gained 0.2%, that has 0.2 points, not percent, 0.2 points, that gained by 0.2 points, and then happiness decreased by 0.1 points. So this is how you can get the real-time picture while you create all these sort of metrics. All right. So one of the faculty member asked me yesterday that, okay, fine, how to measure the happiness. So it is quite difficult. I understand that when you talk about capturing the happiness, how we would measure the happiness. So I've created this something for you. So these are the dummy databases that I would like to help you understand. So there are further subcategories. So I was talking about submetrics. So these are happiness at work. So these are subcategories or could be submetrics, you can say, happiness at work. All right. And the question, Do you enjoy the work you do? All right. You can see the result, and it is all Excel based. I mean, you can capture all this data and create the dashboard. That graph that you see here, that is based on Excel, that is created on Excel itself. Right? So you can say that 65% people are there, promoters, right? 15% they are also promoters. 13% they are neutral, like 7 to 8 ratings, and then we have detractors here. So people, 2% of the employee strength, they are detractors. So we actually need to focus on the people who are neutral. They are tend to score, like give the score 7 or 8, 6, something like that, right? So we really need to focus on this. And further to that, basis this result, basis this visualization, you can further dig down and then you can present it to the business. Similarly, the other sub-metrics could be work-life balance, right? And then happiness at work. I've mentioned some example, some question that you can ask. So do you have the flexibility time to take time off when you need? So work-life balance. So it is tagged against a sub-matrix that is called work-life balance, which is a subcategory of a matrix or a sub-matrix of happiness. So there are tags, certain tags, happiness at work, work-life balance, right? And you can ask so many questions similarly, and you can need to think about it. So I would like to mention one thing out here, that creating a dashboard or capturing the metrics, it is all about creativity. So, and you need imagination as well, right? You have to think what exactly you want to show it to the business, what sort of metrics that you want to capture, and then basis that you can start creating the dashboard, and you can do the visualization. Because I mean, I can give you one example. Somebody long time back, they dreamed of flying, right? And people started doing some sort of invention, and then started doing some sort of scientific research, and later on, human being, they started flying like a bird, right? So there was an idea, there was a dream behind this idea. Okay, fine, I want to fly like a bird. Similarly, if you want to create a dashboard, you have to visualize, you have to imagine that, okay, fine, what would be my visualization, how I'm going to present this data to the business, and how it will look like. So when I say visualization, it means that meaningful visualization. All right, so I'll further send you to the breakdown room, and then I'll divide you into the teams. You can see here, one metrics happiness, and then some metrics are there. So two metrics I have mentioned, that happiness at work, work-life balance, right? So these are the two metrics. And against that, I've asked certain questions. Okay, fine. That is actually related to happiness at work. Do you enjoy the work you do? And further, under the work-life balance, do you have the flexibility to work time off when you need to? Or have you noticed your work taking a toll on your personal life? So these sort of questions that we can ask. So I want you guys to, I'll divide you into groups, and then you can discuss what could be the another metrics under the happiness, some metrics, I would say. So I've given two metrics out here, happiness at work, work-life balance, right? So you need to identify one more metrics, some metrics under happiness that we can capture, and may probably what sort of question, one or two probably, right? We can ask against to capture that some metrics. So I'll give you some time. I'll give you 2 minutes of time, and probably I'm breaking into the room, breakout room, right? Then I'm creating the room, and further you can get into the room, and then you can start brainstorming. And any of you any of the person who will represent the particular group will come up and present what exactly they discussed, what could be the sub-metrics under happiness, and what sort of question. I guess all the participants are back from the breakout room. So the next step would be, since 2-3 people were there in every room, so you can, who is going to present? So there needs to be somebody who will be representing the group and can share the brainstorming, what you did brainstorming about. We were discussing about happiness metrics and the subcategories or sub-metrics. So I showed you 2 sub-metrics. So the ask was identify one more sub-metrics which can be tagged under happiness metrics, and maybe what sort of question that can be asked in order to capture that sub-metrics. All right, guys. So who is going to start first? Which group? 1, 2, or 3? Come on,
Only one group has a discussion. All the other 2 groups are in the starting chat mode, and let me see.
All right, no worries. I'll give you some more time.
Dr. Sheetal, I think in your group some discussion has taken place.
I'll give you a second time. I'll have another topic, right? So whosoever discussed, and then maybe this is the first time you went into the breakout room and then how to interact. So you need to unmute yourself there in the particular room and have to decide and discuss about the particular point. So whosoever discussed,
Manish,
group.
Manish, I'm audible to you. I'm Professor Ram.
Yes, Ram, you're audible. Please.
Yeah, can you show me the matrix once? Because I'm looking through the that my mobile, so it looks very small and small. That's the reason.
All right. No worries. Let me share it my screen. Just
one second. Because my group members are quite silent.
No worries. That is perfectly. I understand that it happens. All right. So can you all see my screen, please?
Yeah. Now I can. Now I can.
Great. So my question was, so yesterday one of the faculty member asked me like how to measure the happiness.
I was there and I was listening. Professor, what is the happiness is how to measure.
How to measure the happiness. So I did some research, and this is that what we are capturing in our organization.
Can I tell you one thing? Huh?
Yeah, please.
Mathematical point of view, if I tell you like this, happiness is basically unlimited variables. Okay.
Correct.
It is an independent variable. It is not a dependent variable. So when you limit the happiness, it will lead to satisfaction. Okay. It will lead to say that success. It will lead to say that cordial relationship. So many things it will lead to. Okay. Until you limit that happiness. Like say that if I say you dy by dx, in a dx I will be taking it as a happiness. The change in happiness will always bring some changes in your life. Okay, and that is what my opinion is about, because I calculated by mathematical formulations by using a differential calculus. I find that happiness always, when it changes, it will always change other variables. My way of thinking is
correct. You are absolutely correct. So what I'm trying to mention out here from the organizational perspective, from the HR perspective, because most of the HR fraternity, I mean, they think that employee engagement, they can only think of like employee engagement means like, is it not about employee recreational activities, right? So it is about to measure that the employee in the organization, they are engaged in the organization or not, right? So happiness is one metric that falls under employee engagement metrics. Employee engagement, metrics. So happiness is one thing that we have to capture, and that directly linked with the engagement of the employee within the organization. So somebody who is not satisfied, rightly said that it leads to satisfaction. There are other variables are there that could be related to, the other factors are there that can be related to happiness, but further leads to dissatisfaction, satisfaction in the job. So we are talking about measuring the happiness. So happiness at work. So from the organization perspective. So
no, from the organization perspective only, I'm telling you.
Yes,
that,
yes.
That you limit your happiness, then only you can measure other things.
Right.
If you can't see, let me tell you one thing. Happiness is basically an unlimited quantity.
Correct.
You keep on asking because you are a human person. You are a human. You will be keep on for you meet your social needs and wants. It is not a limited one. It will be keep on increasing at every stage.
Correct.
So today you are going to say salary. Okay, tomorrow you say that I need a house. Then you will say I need a car. I need and say that then I need and say that good place where I can stay. Like this, good food I needed. Like this, you cannot stop other variables because happiness grows. To me, it looks that happiness keeps on grows and grows and grows, and it will come to an end when your life goes out of this world.
Great. Yep. So, see what I'm trying to mention out here. You rightly said there are other factors out there that leads to happiness, but when we are trying to capture,
can I come in between? This is Dr. Sheetal actually.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So actually, like I have understood your question. So if to measure happiness, like you mentioned, it is about that enjoyment of work. Perhaps the third metric could be used is about the satisfaction related to the job. Although you have already mentioned as a happiness related to the work. But if I look at happiness, it is coming from the factors whether you are satisfied with your interface with the technology, but the kind of question you have already put is encompassing everything. Like do you enjoy work? So it's about everything.
So I've given sample questions actually. So I wanted you guys to brainstorm and come up with something.
Satisfaction, I believe, is one of them. And how comfortable, how content they are with the technology which has been put to utilization. So that could be one of the factors. Like satisfaction is coming from that, whether this reunion between the work and the individual is harmonious. If it is harmonious, it is going to lead satisfaction, and satisfaction further would lead to happiness. This is my input on this.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to contribute and share the idea? If you might not have discussed in the breakout rooms, but you have something public. Yeah, please, Monica.
So there can be employee empowerment that can also lead to happiness to employees at your workplace. So according to me, employee empowerment is another metric that we can have.
Great, good. Anyone else would like to contribute? Please feel free to share your ideas. Nobody is going to judge you for anything, right? Because we are here to learn something. And obviously, I want all of you to take out something at the end of the session, because however, it's only 1 or 2 hour session, right? But still, there's so much learning that we can take out from these 2 hours, right? So if you want to share something, you feel that's a silly thing to mention, but please be. Everybody's learning. Even I'm also learning, right? So whatever inputs that we share, I'm going to learn. Maybe I'll implement somewhere else, right?
Sir, I want to add about happiness at work here. We can ask about how much do you feel yourself energetic and enthusiastic during work time? A happy mind can feel that energy and enthusiasm.
Great.
That's it, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. See, you guys have brilliant thought process, right? All right, I'll give you the second chance for everyone, right? So maybe the first time you didn't realize that what you have to do in breakout rooms. So I'll take you further. So other metrics, we are talking about the recognitions, all of these 10 metrics, recognition, right? So I'll show you everything that I have in this slide so that further you can decide. And that will not be limited to only one metric. So recognition is one metric that falls under the employee engagement, wherein you can see I have captured one sub-metrics, that recognition frequency. And it's a sample data for your understanding, right? There could be more questions that can be asked. So how would you rate the frequency that at which you receive recognition, right? I'm happy with how frequently I'm recognized in the organization, right? Something like that. There could be other question basis your business you can ask. And there are other sub-metrics are there. So I mentioned only one here. And then one metrics we are talking about is ambassadorship, right? So championing. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend your organization as a good place to work, right? Rating 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. And then the other sub-metrics, the pride we are talking about. Pride, when you say that organization you work for, how do you feel? Because let's say somebody is saying, I'm working with Accenture. I'm feeling proud that I'm working with Accenture. On LinkedIn itself, not many people that are happy to announce that I've joined TCS, Genpact, Deloitte, Accenture, many organizations, right? Infosys, Facebook, right? Google, right? So they're taking pride. It means they are become an ambassador of the organization. So that is related to that, and that comes under employee engagement because it is all about how an employee is engaged within the organization. And then the third thing in the slide is feedback. That is one, like when I say feedback, is feedback frequency. So are you satisfied with the frequency of the feedback coming from your direct manager? So one feedback maybe directly coming from the manager, maybe peers, teammates, or could be from the leadership, from the client, anything, right? And then basis that we have captured, and you can say, just to reiterate that 35%, you can see out here under ambassadorship, that 55% are promoters, 29% are also promoters, 10% they are passive, you can say neutral, and then 3% are detractors. We really need to focus on this 10% out here, need to convert and further do some analysis, how we can do, what sort of programs that we can do so that people feel that they are ambassadors of the organization. All right, so I'll give the second chance. Again, I'll break you out into the rooms. I'll assign you the room. So you have three options available, right? If you want to jot down whatever I mentioned here. So there are three metrics: recognition, then ambassadorship, then feedback, and then some metrics that I mentioned under recognition. I mentioned recognition frequency. So you need to find out, okay, fine, other than recognition frequency, what could be the sub-metrics under recognition? And maybe you can think about some questions or whatever you want to measure that sub-metrics. Similarly, ambassadorship. So I've captured championing, then pride. So there could be something else. So you need to find out. So you can pick any metrics, right? Either recognition or ambassadorship or feedback, and you have to identify one metric, sub-metrics against that, and the questions that you would like to ask, right? So if you want to take a minute or so to jot down, chat will help you to discuss in your groups. So please unmute and discuss, share your ideas, come up with your thought process, and somebody from the group who wants to lead and share thoughts, that would be great. All right. Great. So I believe we have already jotted your pen down topics. Okay, let me break the rooms once again. All right, guys, welcome back. So I hope this time you have discussed something to share your thought. So there was some confusion. So I aligned a couple of people, moved them into different room, right?
From my group, Shalini will speak first. I want Shalini to speak.
Great. Yeah, please.
Good
Shalini,
evening, sir. I think under the ambassadorship, we can include the point of the goodwill in which the employees which are going to be retired can be the feedback person who will feedback about that. What's your experience in the organization, which will promote the company. As what I feel is that the employees which are attached to the organization for more than 20 years or 25 years are definitely going to give a good feedback, and which is directly or indirectly going to increase the goodwill of the organization in the environment.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
How we came to this conclusion is, there are so many people when they retire from Tata, okay, when they retire from, let's say, that Aditya Birla Groups or something like that, very big organization, they always praise about the organization. When the retired person is coming out, he always say, my organization is good. Even I'm telling you, after retiring from my organization, Shriram Fibers, after I say that working for, let's say, 10 to 12 years there, now after 20-25 years, I am telling the same thing. SRF is the best one, because we have got so many facilities, so many things. Even if somebody says that you just tell us which is a good one, can I join in? Somebody say that, can I join in SRF? I will say yes, you must. So this is what is in a say that ambassador can speak. The retired people can speak. Retired people can be taken as an ambassador. This is what she want to tell. And this idea has been brought by Shalini, not by us.
That's great. Perfectly all right. So you guys are talking about the people who already left the organization, right?
Or are going to be left or going to be retired. We can include them.
So what I'm trying to mention out here. So this is for the existing employee. That includes the people who are serving their notice period, or maybe they are going to retire, or they have got some other opportunity in the market, and they're going to join some other organization. But we are covering all the employees who are still working in the organizations. Anyways, that's fine. Ambassadorship, that's fine. So what I meant to mention that.
Next point is Professor Uma has said very nicely. So just listen to her.
Yeah, please.
Sir,
Yes.
Recognition, like I have a taste of corporate as well as, teaching line, 7 years in corporate and 21 years in teaching. So I'll talk about teaching recognition. I think because nowadays self-financing or private institution, we have to do a lot of work. But I primarily think that a teacher has to have a very good feedback from the biggest stakeholder, that is student. So recognition should be based on student feedback, and the teachers who are getting consistently A grade in their student feedback, that should be the biggest parameter, rather than, they are organizing conferences or they are organizing seminars. So recognition to me is student feedback. Yeah. It should be based on student feedback.
Yeah, great. Yes. See, so many ideas are coming up, right? I mean, you guys are going great.
And yeah, from group number 3, Veena Rawat is going to present. Veena,
Yes.
if you are listening to me, you can start also.
Yes, ma'am. So basically, good evening, sir. Firstly, so when
evening.
we're talking about the recognition, I believe that it has direct relation with the motivation also, because as Uma ma'am said that for her, the feedback coming from the student is the biggest. Like if she is graded by the A by the students, is the biggest, like work as the biggest motivation. I believe it's this particular recognition thing doesn't need to be very monetary basis. Like most of the time when we connect this recognition, we say bonuses and all that, but I believe not all the time it should be like that. So sometime a candid pat on the backs and a genuine compliment coming from your seniors works as the greatest motivation, I believe, in the organization.
Great. Yes, you are correct. See, so many brilliant ideas, right? Brilliant thoughts.
So
Great.
may I?
Yeah, please, Monica.
Sir, about recognition metrics, we can include a sub-metric that is recognition level. At what level your organization is recognizing your contribution, whether it is departmental level or whether it is corporate level, where the annual meetings are going to be held and you will be recognized over there. So at what level your efforts are being recognized. Second thing is type of recognition, whether it is monetary, non-monetary, whether it is equity-based or need-based recognition is provided. So these can be sub-metrics for recognition, like recognition level and type of recognition. Another thing is about ambassadorship. So in that, we can include organizational association as sub-metrics. That means how do you feel you are associated with the organization? How long do you want to work with your organization? So it can be included. And for the last, that is feedback metrics. We can include a feedback method. Are you satisfied with the methods adopted by your organization? Like only seniors are giving a feedback about you, or is it 360-degree feedback method? What feedback method your organization is adopting? Another one is value to that feedback. So whether the feedback is done for the sake of formality only, or is it included while appraising your performance? So value to feedback is another sub-metrics under feedback metrics. That's it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Manish, I want to add one more thing.
Please, sir.
Okay, it's become very interesting. That's why. Okay. All right. Now, recognitions can be even, you can find out through by job rotations. I feel that when you are getting, say that different types of job, when you are in the organizations, first you are doing some work in the purchase department. Sometimes you are coming to a sales department. You are recognized, your recognition is found in the finance department. Like this, when you have been rotated, or in the finance department itself, you have been moving to a different level. It shows that you have been recognized by your organizations. This is what my perception of thinking related to recognitions.
Absolutely. I really agree with Professor Ram. This is one point which I also wanted to discuss, that job rotation is a very good point. Very good point.
Yes. So when we are talking about employee engagement metrics, so obviously the sort of insight that we are giving it. So I showed you how we can create and publish the dashboard, what all metrics that can be captured, and further inferences, the insight that we have to give it to the business, and basis that there be internal job promotions, job rotations, rightly said, job rotations, right? Somebody is working on a particular role for a longer period of time, but he has this capability and skills, and with the time, he has or she has developed that skills to take over the particular role, maybe the internal promotion job roles, maybe the person is dissatisfied working on the similar kind of role for last 3-4 years, 5 years, and so on, right? So that is a brilliant idea, and that is basis the dashboard that we identity.
Manish, I want to take something more.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Suppose you have been sent abroad by your organizations. Rather than they don't want that you are to be in India, and they said you have been promoted and you have been sent to say that even to say foreign countries or somewhere they got a branch abroad also. I think that is also a recognition to an employee. Okay.
Yes, correct.
That motivate him to work, and it will give him. I will say that it will make him very loyal to the organizations.
Yes, so this is how that comes under the retention plan, with internal promotions, bonuses, giving the other opportunities, and internal job boards are there. So this is how we decide. We as an organization, we decide how to retain the employees, how to promote, how to create the positive environment. This is how we develop. Somebody yesterday was talking about the culture, organization's culture. This is how we create the culture within the organization, right? That gives the positive impact on each and every employee. That's how each and every metrics is interlinked, right? Somebody's satisfied, somebody's happy, he's being recognized by the organization, by the manager. And recognition is not only about when you are giving something, some moment, or maybe cash reward is there. It's not always cash reward. An email that can be sent out to the particular person for successful completion of certain work. That will also do. So these are sort of ideas that needs to come up and then has to be shared with the management. Great. So brilliant thoughts. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for your participation. So we'll move ahead, and then in the interest of time, I'll share and quickly try to cover it up. Great. Just give me a moment. Right. We were here. And then further, whatever inferences that I have taken out from that dashboard and the metrics, and then further, you can do some comparison and analysis. So I've given you some sort of snapshot wherein further, like you can do experience-wise, there are experience levels of 0 to 3, 1 to 3 years. Maybe if you have freshers there in your organization, then 0 to 3 years, maybe 0 to 1, something like that. So this is a sample data. 3 to 5 years, and then participation, that whenever you are sharing all these sort of, you're trying to capture all these sort of metrics. So you can do it by experience, by business unit, gender, and shift. If you, in your organization, there are multiple shifts people are working, so you can capture all these sort of data. And then employee net promoter score you can capture, you can further bifurcate, and then you can show it to the business. Okay, fine, this particular group has a problem. So you can see that there are certain field, let's say BU1, business unit 1, feedback wherein they have low score, 6.7. That is a problematic area that we need to focus on as an organization. And again, wellness is a problem that we see for business unit 1. And then for the male category, wherein we see that overall engagement score is less, it's 6, and then feedback also 6.8, and the wellness is again a problem. So further we can dig down and figure out that, okay, what is the problem? So we can focus on each and every category. So this is how you can compare and do certain analysis, and maybe whatever programs are running within the organization, you can focus on the feedback mechanism, you can focus on the wellness, maybe wellness activities, maybe the insurance plan or the health consultation they need, because nowadays it is quite frequent. We, in our organization also, we focus on health because of this COVID situation. And then female, you can say that in female category, overall engagement is quite less, 5. This is a dummy data. So just to make you understand that how we can further do the comparison and the analysis. So this is how you can, and this is all Excel based. You don't need fancy BI platform or any ERP platform, SaaS based platform to do this sort of calculation. It is done in Excel itself. Simple formula and highlighters are being used to do the comparison, right? Once you connect the data with the dashboard, and it will reflect like this only, right? And then further, you can also do some analysis. Okay, fine, for a particular group, maybe the recognition, went down, the participation went down minus by 7 point, right? And then for the particular group, the participation percentage went down by 5 points. Similarly, what is the growth for a particular? So this is how you can do the comparison and do the certain analysis, and basis that you can focus on the programs, and we discuss about sub metrics. We discuss about the other metrics, and basis that you can see where we are growing, what all metrics that we need to focus on, whether we need to focus on the recognition part, the recognition program in the organization. Maybe we can focus on the growth, personal growth program that is happening there, promotional policies and all, incremental policies, and people talked about the internal job rotation or something like that, right? So we can focus on all these policies, right? So basis that you can do certain comparison and then do analysis and present it to business, come up with a plan. Okay, fine, these are the gray areas wherein we have to do some sort of experiment, and we need to launch a new program. We need to focus on these programs. All right, so I'll share a sample dashboard with you guys. I've prepared. I didn't get much time to prepare, right? So I've prepared a sample dashboard for you. So just to help you understand that it can be done over Excel as well, because Excel is very brilliant tool. Let me just share my screen, and then, all right. It's a very basic. It's not. I would not say it's a dynamic dashboard, but you can, if you want to start, you can start with that. It doesn't need any in-depth technical skills. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's busy.
All right, so it's a very interactive and simple dashboard that you can start with. So you can see that I've used some sort of slices, and then pie charts and bar charts are there, and then further visualization for male diversity, for male female diversity, and then offer versus joining, then experience mix, and the source mix that we are using that I mentioned, the hiring cost, then average time to hire, right? And the source mix and mixes that I've created the slicer for you guys. So you can further dig down once you want to compare that. Okay, let's say these are the divisions. I'll click on one that will get, okay, fine. This is over, this will give you the overall view. But if you want to know that, okay, what is happening in a particular business. So let's say this is one business. You can see that data has been changed. Right, just a second. Right. Can you see changing the data? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So I've clicked on a particular business. I wanted to see that, okay, fine, what happened? What is the source mix for the particular business that we have hired? So you can see that hiring partners, and then Naukri.com, what is the percent, what is the number out there, and then experience mix. What is the experience bracket we hired, and then offer versus joining, how many offered, how many joined, and then what is the average time. So consultant means the contractual employee, since we didn't hire anybody in the particular business, so it's showing 0. And then hiring cost is 6,09,000. That is the hiring cost, and overall number of hiring that we have done. So 65 days, approx 65 days that took. That is the average time that to fill the position that we got from particular business. So you can see that further. This is overall for the business wise, month wise. You can also do the comparison month on month. Okay, what happened in the April month? You can see that everything has been changed. It's just one click away. You don't need fancy BI platform to create such dashboards, right? This April month, this is the gender diversity, like 83% males were hired and females 17%. And then what happened in the month of May? All right, 78% male and 22% females. And similarly, the data will get changed month on month. Even you can do some comparison. Let's say quarterly, you want to do some comparison. What happened in first quarter? So you can do further. Right, so you can do further analysis. So it's a year on a year. I made a simple slicer out here. You can do some sort of creativity, and then everything is linked with the dashboard. You can see the cost. The overall hiring cost is 21,13,250. And if business would like to see that, okay, for a particular business, what is the cost and what is the average hiring time? What is the gender diversity? You can click on the, let's say, so you can see the changes. Now for a particular business, so 5,55,000, that was the hiring cost, which includes recruiter salary, which includes Naukri subscription, LinkedIn subscription, which includes the amount that we paid to the hiring partners, and the average hiring time for a particular business, right? And how many people we hired. Let's say here you can say that 12 people we had as a consultant, and then the hiring time was 16.9 to approximately 17 days. It took 17 days to hire 12 people. And then for full-time employees, it took around 50 days, approx 51 days, right, to hire these many employees, 10 employees, right? So this is how you can do further analysis, and what is the experience mix, at what level you've hired, and what is the source mix, right? How many people you've hired from Naukri, LinkedIn, other hiring partners, maybe if you're doing the campus hiring, how many people you've had from the campus. So this is how you can give insight to the business, do further analysis. Also, I've created one more thing for you guys. So hiring status for the recruiters, right? So these are the businesses. This will give you the overall view. Last year data, right? So let's say one particular business. So everything will get changed. So how many you have closed, how many hired. So closed means you have offered that candidate. It means closed. Hired means the people joined. So you can see the number out here, and then hold, how many positions are on hold. For the business reference, you can see here what was the role and against a particular business. So how many closed, how many hired, how many on hold, right? Total number of positions once you receive from the business is 10. Similarly, position split, you can say out here as well. Available, and you have, if you need to have a certain approval in place, then what is, how many approvals do you have, hiring approvals, then how many utilized and how many pending. Similarly, so you can do business by business, but you can see the data is getting changed. If you do further, go to something like that, right? It's just a click away. You can see that I'm not using any fancy platform, not any BI. It's just a simple Excel. You can do it. All right, one more dashboard. We are running out of time. I'm so sorry, Mr. Ghosh. I'll take only 2-3 minutes and then.
No. You can continue. No worry.
All right. So see, this is how you can do some sort of analysis, and data is already there. So one thing I would like to mention that once you start creating the dashboard, your Excel. Yes, Uma, please.
Sir, because this actually question is coming out of curiosity.
Yep.
Which I feel that you are the right person to answer. I was reading one article that was long back, 1.5 months back, that companies, that is also part of HR metrics, that companies should actually work on percentage of employee turnover, which is a regretted loss. So do you really think companies calculate this percentage, that what percentage of employee turnover is a regretted loss?
Yes. Obviously, you are correct. That has to be there. I'm showing it to you, the TA dashboard. I'm talking about the talent acquisition dashboard, right? It's not the complete HR dashboard, because when we talk about it, is only the HR dashboard. Talent recruitment dashboard, right? So average hiring cost, average time to hire. These are the TA metrics. So similarly, you can include all the other metrics. You can create one master dashboard. You have to have the data. You can link multiple worksheets, multiple sheets within the Excel, and you can create. You don't need to juggle between 3, 4, 5 different sheets. You can collate all the sheets and you can create one dashboard, one common and master dashboards. Be it for training, be it for operations, comp and ben, or employee engagement, there would be one dashboard you can present it to the business. I'm just giving you some I wanted to give you that view as well, the overall HR dashboard, but in the interest of time, because I didn't get much time to create the dashboard, so I created whatever I could create in a day's time. I could create, and then I'm showing it to you. So I'm giving you just an idea like how you can do it, and you don't need, what I'm trying to mention here, that you don't need any fancy platform. Yesterday, a lady was asking that what are the cost effective other than the Excel. So I said that Excel is very vast. There are many functions we are yet to explore. There are condition formatting you can see here, right? So these are the tabs that you can use to create this sort of. I've created very basic, like I've created pivot charts, right? There's basic pie charts and all, and then I've added slicer and connected all these pivots to the slicer so that it is linked, and you can see the changes that is happening, right? So I didn't do much. It's a very basic dashboard I'm showing to you. There are dynamic dashboard, and then free of cost, their learning platforms are available. So I would personally recommend LinkedIn Learning, because I learned so many things from LinkedIn Learning. And YouTube is free of cost. If you want to visualization, that you must be wondering that, okay, fine, male, female, how this color is getting changed, the percentage is getting changed when we talk about the gender diversity. So it is linked, right? So if you want to create such kind of such kind of visualization, you can easily create. There are a lot of material videos are available on YouTube. Please go through it. You just need to visualize that how you want to present your data, how it will look like, right? Because visualization is important, because that really catch the attraction, right? So that is for the audience, like you want to show it to the business, and first thing that you see, okay, fine, it's a wonderful looking dashboard. Then further you dig down, and then you start giving your insight. Okay, this is fine. This is happening business wise. month on month, maybe quarterly, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and the hiring cost, total hiring cost. So everything is linked. It's not only the dashboard. There is a data linked with the dashboard that you are looking at here, and then it is getting changed, right? You can play with the color if you want to. If you love colors, playing with the colors, you can play with the colors and make it more interactive, right? Meter gauge, we have seen that performance and all that is being used actually. You can even create the employee life cycle in the Excel itself, right? Promotion, when the person joined, how many promotions, salary increment, promotions, and then movements, retiral, everything you can capture in the Excel. It has got many functionality. That's why I said that you don't need any fancy platform to create the dashboard or visualization, right? You just need to have some understanding, and it's a continuous learning. I mean, I'm not an expert, but whatever I learned, I've just started creating. So that is from the TA perspective. And then I would like to share one more dashboard for the HR folks, so that for the operational improvement within the HR domain, HR department. Just allow me a moment. Yes, so this is something this is a dummy data actually, right? So you can take out some insight. So what I do basically, I capture the utilization in the team, right? So this is for only for, there are other members, but I'll show it to you only one or two. All right, you can see that, okay, fine. From the recruitment perspective, there are two major tasks that people are involved. So I have mapped them against two categories, or you can say two metrics like operational and talent acquisition. These are the KRAs, like operational metrics are there, then talent acquisition is there. So how much time, let's say this lady, Ratika, my team member. So this is a monthly view, monthly dashboard. So her 88% goes into talent acquisition and rest 12% into operations. So now this data looks fine from the analysis perspective, because there are certain activities that falls under operations, wherein a recruiter has to do some sort of operations activity like documentation, a team meeting that falls under the operations activity or a category, and then IT requisition that the person has to raise for the new joiners and all. So that falls under the operations. And I can see that this person, a majority of the time, my recruiter is spending on talent acquisition. So it means there is no such problem. He's spending maximum time as per the expectation, maximum time on talent acquisition. So there are many activities that I've mapped, like interview coordination, sourcing and screening. So yesterday I was talking about the effort that we're putting in, that we also have to capture the effort as well, how much effort that we're putting in to close the positions, aligning, sourcing the candidates. So follow-up calls are there, right? Salary negotiation, it takes a lot of time, right? Screening, sourcing, interview coordinations are there with the BU heads, with the hiring managers, with technical interviewers, right? This person is doing good. So the next would be, all right, the another recruiter, okay, fine. She's also spending 84% of her time into talent acquisition activity, and then overall 84%, that is the overall utilization. And then for the 16% into operations, that also finds operations majority of the time goes into the team meetings and all, right? And rest of the time goes into like HR interview, sourcing, screening, follow-up calls, pipeline building. So we can further categorize, subcategorize basis the level of the recruiter. Somebody is working as a specialist or maybe a junior recruiter, basis that we can subcategorize all these things, right? And this, you can see, as you can see, this is just an Excel, right? No fancy platform, right? So I want to break a myth that if you want to create a dashboard, you want to get into the analytics. This is just a beginning of the analytics, right? So you don't need to be that technical, right? Because as I said yesterday, that most of the people I find in HR analytics, they are from the technical background. They are not from the HR fraternity. They are technical guys, data who are dealing with software engineers, or data scientists. They're dealing with the big data and insight. They are taking care of the data, HR data, and then presenting it. But if you are into HR and you want to make your career into HR analytics, you can start with the Excel. Small things you just need to visualize. Nobody asked me to create it, but I visualize. I thought, okay, let's do something. How? Because my team was facing challenges, right? I wanted to know that how much time my team members are spending on operational tasks and the talent acquisition. So no fancy categorization, only two categories are there. Operations category, there are subcategories, but basis that if you want to create the dashboard, that will lead to confusion, right? We cannot get the inferences or insight from the dashboard. So categorized into two categories, operations and talent acquisition, and then further subcategories are there. HR interview coordination, right? So that will give insight. For the team members as well, okay, how much time, which, let's say this person is spending 71.69% on sourcing screening. And being a junior recruiter, that is fine, because this person is spending maximum time here, sourcing and screening the candidates through various sources. So this is how I get the view of who is doing what, how they're doing, where they're facing challenges. Somebody into recruitment and majority of the time goes into the documentation, IT requisition, or the team meeting, then there is a problem, right? I'll create the sample data for me as well, right? Now you can see that being a team manager, my operational task goes up to 21% and then 79% into talent acquisition. So again, in the talent acquisition as well, there are hiring meetings, professional networking media, and for some position sourcing and screening, interview coordination, and the operational tasks, since I'm involved into some sort of billing activities in the organization, the team meeting. So that is how I'm capturing my details. This is just a dummy data for just to make you understand. So this is how like we can present and further dig down and do some analysis. Okay, fine. If being a manager, I'm doing a basic work, my time is only going to, let's say, interview coordination. It means I'm not justifying my role, right? I need to focus more on strategy or planning or something like that. So I've divided that thing. I wanted to show it, but because of the time that I was not able to create that thing, I was not able to include that. Right, so this is how like it's month on month. You can do it. You can see it's a simple slicer that we're using out here, right? Year on year. If you click on, okay, fine, 2021 or maybe further 20. So the team members, like, see, you can see out here, right? Is getting changed. It's a simple dashboard, right? The data overall percentage, you can see 88% for this person. For me, it's 83%. For one of my team members, it's 80%. And then for 74%. Right, that includes the how many days they have worked in a particular month. Maybe they went on a leave, sick leave, casual leave, or any they have the plan, right? And behind this there is a calculation, so you have to be ready with that calculation, right? So that is there, but you can easily do all this sort of presentation in your dashboard. Great. That's it from my side. If you have any question, so you can ask me, or else like I would like to hand over to Mr. Ghosh, and then he'll further take it.
Anybody have any question? Please raise your hand, or may put your microphone unmute and ask the question. It's a great learning session from a HR practitioner who is for a long period is in industry, and he has shown that how you can be a -1. Previously, it was always been said the HR people, they are nothing but to create a nuisance in the organization, but nowadays they are the strategic partner. So I feel from that angle, Mr. Manish has proved that how the HR field is changing towards the strategic decision makers part. I think one chat is there.
Rightly said, it is not, HR is no more back-end job,
Yeah.
right? It is, HR domain is evolving, people are evolving, right? They are getting into the data, they are into analysis,
Dr.
right?
Uma has mentioned a very enlightening session. Any further questions from anyone?
I just want to discuss that data is there in the organization, sir, but organizations should know how to analyze. For example, again, an
How to
article.
handle?
Absolutely, an
How
article
to
again
handle?
enlightened. Yeah,
Otherwise,
Professor.
it will be a garbage.
No, because an article also enlightened me that
Yeah.
you are just offering a job and the candidate accepting the job offer. What is the time lag and what is the reason behind that? I don't know how many of the organizations really thought about this.
Many
definitely,
organizations
sir,
used to do this because they calculate.
they calculate.
Also,
Thank
that
you so
what
much.
is the
Really,
total
really very
loss
enlightening.
they are scattering through this delay.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Well, Manish,
yeah, Professor
I
Ram,
would
please.
ask you. So we have got so many techniques are there, so many methods are there. Why this is not applied during this COVID time? Many of the organizations in MNC I found out, they have removed, and I say that top officials within a day notice. What is that at that time the HR was doing? This is my question.
All
Why
right.
this method is not applied? Why they have not supported these people? Okay, so many people, so many within high brackets, they came out of the industry overnight. So what is the use then using this matrix?
All right, I'll try to answer your question. First of all, HR is also an employee, somebody working there in the organization, they're also employee, right? And business, when you talk about the business, so there are certain factors. So what happened last year, rightly said that 2020, most bigger organizations, they started laying off people because of the hit by the COVID, like pandemic, all the business that went down, and then people started losing their job. So from the business perspective, business is not running over emotions, right? So they are into profit making. But having said that, when they feel that there are many organizations, they laid off the employees, but they've given the compensation against all these layoffs that happened. I personally look at least the bigger organizations, they've given them a notice or the compensation against their whatever they have done.
Maybe it was a retrenchment policy that whenever there is a requirement, we will take you back. Something was also there in some big organizations.
And people also understand. They understand that business is not doing good, right? So how they gonna pay the salary of the employees?
I can tell you like one thing: the hotel industry. If their total revenue is zero,
correct. Similarly,
so how it will run?
Retail industry, like shopping malls were closed, right? So nobody was going there in the malls, right? So how they gonna pay all these employees, right? Because all these people working in different stores, small business, right? In phone stores, like in Chroma, in HubSpot, and any Spice stores and all, right? So these people got laid off. Even people working in McDonald's, KFC, and all. So these are not the permanent sort of employees, right? So because of the pandemic, the business was hit badly. And because of that reason, business has to take the decision, okay, fine, we will not be able to pay because the company is not earning that money.
And it took place worldwide, not only in India.
Right.
Professor Ram.
Yeah.
If we see the worldwide situation, this has been happened not only in India, everywhere in the business. If they could not sustain, then where from they will maintain the employees?
No, I do agree. I do agree with you, Professor Ghosh. My question that is still haunting me, that overnight they have been asked to go and you are giving a compensation to them.
That depends upon the company's policy, depending upon the nature of the company. Maybe I say not all the organizations are in same space. So their thought process are different. Why we do make a difference between an organization and a corporate? What is the basic difference? We have to think, Nate.
I do agree. I do agree with that.
So there are differences. So, Mr. Manish, thank you very much. Let me start.
Sure, please, please, please.
Yeah. So yesterday, where we have completed, today I want to show you another very it's a simple technique, that is the performance appraisal or feedback process. How, in a very smaller way, we can handle our 360-degree feedback process in a very simple manner through Excel. I just want to inform you about the skill you can develop. If you learn this thing, you can utilize in different other ways also. So let me share you my screen. First, I am showing you Can you see this screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you get something out of it? Anything meaningful? I think no. Now, side by side, I want to show you through Excel that how this particular problem came before you and how you will manage the situation. So just see this Excel file. Just a minute. Can you see this Excel file?
Yes, sir. Sir.
So if you see this one, suppose this is employee ID, this is the employee name, this is the supervisor ID, this is the supervisor name. That means Mr. Rajiv Chajar, he is the supervisor of Mr. Prakash Bose. Prakash Bose's employee ID is this one and Rajiv's is this one. Usually this is the I say duty of Rajiv to make the appraisal form filled up, and there are different dimensions given to Mr. Rajiv about Mr. Prakash, and out of 10 he has marked like this one. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Normally this has been happened. Okay. And you got this data maybe directly from any I say ERP software or something like that, that Rajiv has given Prakash on client communication 4 out of 10, leadership 5 out of 10, pressure handling 1 out of 10. On the other hand, there is another supervisor who rated the same employee, Prakash, and that supervisor name is Jasvinder Singh. Under client communication, he has seen 2 out of 10, leadership 7 out of 10, pressure handling 1 out of 10, thought leadership 4 out of 10, teamwork 1 out of 10. Now, if this is the situation in this way, you have, I say, 700 to 800 employees, and there are 12 to 13 different supervisors against every, I say, department wise. how you can make a overall 360-degree performance appraisal. Can you do it through Microsoft Excel? Anyone? Do you know that process? Other than Mr. Manish, he's an expert, I know that.
No, sir.
Okay. So basically, you may learn it, and it is very easy if I show you the procedure. So the very first one, I think I am showing you these particulars. Whenever you get the data and you have to calculate this one, just you note down these steps. Control G, then click on special. In the go to special, click on blank, click on first blank cell, type equals to, and first blank cell number, then control plus enter. What actually I want to mean through it. So my first step is I'm showing you through the Excel that how I will do it. Basically here I will use a particular technique that is so coming back to this. Can you see this Excel once again?
Yes, sir.
And you can see the now actually here I want to utilize pivot table concept. Have you ever used pivot table?
Yes, sir.
So we use here pivot table, but while using a pivot table, there is one mandatory requirement that no cell should be blank one. Okay. First condition is no cell should be blank one. Now you got the data like this one. How you can fill up the data with those blank cells? This is a trick that I am showing to you. That we know that in this particular area, this particular thing should be filled up with the similar this thing. I can drag it, but for suppose 700 people, I have to drag I say one row for 2 or 3 or 4. But is there any specific way or command through which we can fill it up? So the first thing is I should click anywhere. Click anywhere and go Control G. First command is Control G. When you put this command, you will get this window. You click on Spatial. When you click on the Spatial, another window will pop up, and here you have to check the blanks. You have to check the blanks because your main target is to fill up those blanks. And when you click OK, you can see all the blank points are being selected. Now what will you do? You can see the first blank column is already selected. I just click here equals to, and the data with which I want to fill it up I click on that data. Like here, I want to fill up with the employee ID. So I click on it. Then all together, you have to press Control Enter. Can you see what has been happened?
Yes, sir. Now there is
All the blank cells are filled up with the required data. May I show it once again? Would you like? Or you can recapitulate. Can you recall this one?
Sir, please repeat, sir.
We got it in this point. We have gone to Control G. In this go to box, we click on Spatial, check blanks, then click OK. In the first column, equals to, which is already selected. Click on the first filled up cell and put Control Enter at a time. So what has been happened? All the cells are now filled up. And as because of this, now this data is ready for using in pivot table. So why I have done this? I have made my data prepared for my using it in pivot table. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I am clicking in the insert column pivot table. The pivot table will ask me the range. So that is why what I have to do, I have to select my total data range. My total data range is now selected. I click on pivot table. You can see that my total data range is mentioned over here. Table range sheet 2. And then obviously where I want this data in new worksheet. Then I say, okay, I am getting a pivot table like this. Now I want to know every employee as their performance. So what I will do, employee name, and that I will put into row. Then dimension I put into column. And feedback that I put into value. What you can see, Mr. Prakash Bose, who has been rated by different, I say supervisors, his total, grand total is 25. For SK Gupta, it is 18, and for Ritu Singh Tur, it is 37. So obviously here from we get that the best performer is Ritu Singh Tur. Now what and where the different I say employees are strong, that we can see also here from that in client communication who got the highest marks, in leadership who got the highest marks, in pressure handling situation. So in each and every situation who got the highest marks. We can use this pivot table in other areas too. Like just now Mr. Manish has informed us about the employee satisfaction. So if we give or put the employee satisfaction in different ways before salary restructuring and after the salary restructuring, and if we see the both the table, that is a questionnaire we have collected beforehand and the questionnaire after the effect, both the table will show us what is the difference of the satisfaction level, or I can say some pleasure level or something like that. Nowadays, this is also a job of HR people, that they can analyze the effect of some particular metrics after an event. So is it clear to everyone how you can do this one? Using pivot table, you can make a 360-degree feedback, and it is very clear, very I say time efficient, and your work will be much more organized. So whenever, if you create this pivot table beforehand, so if you change any data in this particular table, you can see an automatic change in the other. Anybody have still any question? You can ask me that. Should I repeat or you do understand? Anyone?
It's clear, sir.
It's clear. So I hope you can at least do this work in your hand. I say create a pseudo data like what I have shown to you, and you can use these techniques in different other ways, and this data can be utilized in the dashboard as sir has shown. Basically, this is the basic data. If I want to utilize a dashboard collecting this data, so we just insert, go to a pie table, and you can see this is the client communication feedback. If I modify in I say sheet 2, SK Gupta, I have seen, if I put here 10 and here also 10, and if I once again run this one, you can see what will be happened, that employee name in row, dimension in the column, and feedback in the value, and so if you see the previous sheet and the next sheet, you can see a difference because there is a change in sheet 430, 30. Leadership and teamwork, this has been modified. So previously leadership out of 30, leadership out of 30, and teamwork. In this pattern, we can put or create our dashboard from a pivot table. I want to show you another basic concepts. Do you have any idea about fuzzy lookup, VLOOKUP? These ideas, have you ever handled? Do you have any idea about VLOOKUP? Anyone? Can you see this screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many you were quite comfortable, or do you know how to use VLOOKUP?
Sir, actually we are aware of VLOOKUP, but currently can't recognize, can't able to recapitulate it, how we do that.
Okay. Now, why VLOOKUP are being used? VLOOKUP is used to match some particular cell from another data array where the similar type of cell value is available. We check therefrom and identify the corresponding value. Like in one table, I have name of the employees, their employee name, their salary, and in another table we have only employee number and their rewards and performance. If I want to make a comparison that the particular employee whose salary is this, what is his satisfaction level or performance? So I can checking each and every one and copy therefrom is a typical task. Then we can use it through VLOOKUP. I here show you two steps. In one, the VLOOKUP in I say normal, and the another one VLOOKUP with another extension of match or range lookup. So basically what VLOOKUP wants, whenever you want to I say go for VLOOKUP, there is four requirement. First, lookup value. That means what you want to search. Suppose I am searching name from one table and the similar name of available in another table. So in my table 1, Shalini's name is in E5, whereas in another table it is at E100. So if I utilize the VLOOKUP, then Shalini's name will be matched with E5 and A100, and then corresponding value will be taken therefrom against the column where we want to put it. Now second one is table array. That means where from I want to match this value. That means total A column. Third one is column index number, means which number I want to connect with this one. And the fourth one is range lookup. Here it is a logic. Basically, if you put 1, that means true. And exact match is 0. That means if you put 1, then even if Shalini's name are in cap, then also the match will come. But if we put 0, then in which way, exact which way, it is available in both. If it does not match, then the data will not come up. So that is the VLOOKUP concept. For example, I have a data set where the data are like this. Now here another thing we want to mention, that table array means the big data where from you want to search the lookup value. Suppose you select some particular cell as shown below, and now while you use this cell range by dragging, it will change automatically. Like if you want E7 in one case, so if you drag this one, automatically while you are dragging towards lower side, it will be E8, E9, E10 like this. If you drag it towards the left side, then it is F7, G7, H7, or in left side it will be B7, C7, B7. To stop this, because I want that exact value, so we have to put the dollar function. Now here putting dollar means the value will be remain same. But here there are two things. If you see a cell number, there are 2 points. One is E and another is 7. That means E column, 7th row. I have to put both dollar before E and dollar before 7 to make this cell fixed one for the verification. And to do that, we have to go for another trick, like I10. If I shift or modify it to $I $10, I can select one cell, I put the dollar value over both the figure. And as just I have mentioned, if I drag it, it will change. So the shortcut key to convert a cell name into dollar is F4. So you click on a particular cell, and if you click on F4, automatically it will be $F, $4. So whatever is the cell name, if it is I10, if you put the function F4, it will automatically be $L, $10. So this is another thing we have to take care of. Otherwise, we will see that gradually when we drag a function of VLOOKUP, it will modify in each and every cell, and automatically the result will be changed. So that is why it is to be maintained. Column index number indicates the cell reference number where your destination data is available. Suppose you have a data set where name is in the first column, email ID in the second column, phone number is the fourth column. So if you put look value as name, then your column index number will be 4, where the name is available. But if you put look value at email ID, then your column index number will be 3. Because you have to calculate where you want the value are there from, how much distance it is. Range lookup is a logical value that I have said. If you put 1 or 0, you will get 2 different types of value. In case of using 0, that means exact match, and in case of 1, it is likely match. So I think our time is very short now. Should I show it? Because it will take a step. Will you permit me for another 5-10 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For all the other participants, actually I got only one answer. If everybody say yes sir,
Yes,
at least
sir.
majority
Yes,
say
sir.
yes sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Let me show it through the Excel. So how we can do it? Give me a minute time. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, here I have a data like this, that this is the employee who have submitted some expense in their, I say, medical allowance expense department, and there is a limit. Basically, the limit is like this, that this particular department, if this is their grade, so their limit is like this. For example, HSC department U1 category of people can expense and allowance will be allowed up to 21,000. So this is a table. Now, if I want to identify that this particular candidate has made any expense more or less, so first what I have to do for this particular category, I have to calculate that what is his expense limit. So how I can do this? If I go to equals to and then VLOOKUP, now in the VLOOKUP array, the very first what I want to verify. So I want to verify this one, that lookup value of E7, and then I have to verify from the table array where this E7 is available. Now I have to go to experience limit, and this is the E7. So here the expense limit is available. Then column index number. Column index number, what I have said, that this particular value is available at what distance that you want. So in experience limit, if you say that, sorry, I have to see HSC. Here I have to modify by mustard. I have to see division. Now what I have said that time, that we put F4. If we just put F4 value, dollar and both the dollar value will come, and then experience limit is here. Now here I have to put a number. The number is available here in E7. That is, sorry, again, another mistake is here. I have to verify all these things. Here this This is my limit. And I have to check E7. So E7, if I put it 1 and logical value 1, we could not get any data. But if we value 3, the identification, grade 7. Identification, that is grade is here. So if you can see that here, if I can put the column index number as 1, then you can get a return value of, this is the D&D limit. Now in the second level, what we used to do, I have to make a total figure like this, that out of this match box, I have to calculate all the value, whether it is up to the mark or not. So in this table, they have identified that D and D available over here, and that they return back into this particular VLOOKUP table. I'm just showing you the second table where you can do it by your Can you see this one? The same thing, but in a different pattern. What I am showing here, can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Here I have put two things. One is ECD and another is E1. And here I put the VLOOKUP, where VLOOKUP takes a value from your first employee master and identify the expense limit for a particular field. So if you see over here, here I put ECD and E1, the value is 13,000. ECD, department ECD and E1. If I modify it as E5, can you see it? It has been automatically changed. ECD department and E5 category. It has been changed into 90,000. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, how it is being done? You can see the VLOOKUP, that is D15. My first point is D15. What is D15? This is D15. Means D15, what you have put, that they will search. The second point is where from B2 to I10. My whole data is available in B2 to, sorry, it has gone to the, can you see this one? This is B2 and this is I10. So all my data is within this range. So while I am putting the VLOOKUP second array, that is B2 to I10, but I have put $sign everywhere. Then the third one, that is match. This is another function. I have to check up that how this data will match with a particular data. So that is why I have created a match value, match E15, B2 to I2, and my question is exact 0. And then the last logic I have put as exact 0. And if you modify this one, suppose here in place of ECD, you are typing D and D. You can see the change. If you change this one also, suppose E3. So in D&D, E3 level is 57. So while you want two things to be searched at a time, we have to utilize VLOOKUP not in a direct manner along with the match condition. Is it clear? Or I may repeat it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Already we have overshooting our time. So I hope you have enjoyed, but there are 70,000 odd, I say instructions or different types of codes you can apply in Excel, but a very high level Excel user can only use 3,000 to 4,000 commands. And if you know 3,000 to 4,000 commands, you will be treated as a very high level data analyst. It is my request to all the participants that Excel is already Mr. Manish has informed. It is a very vast area. You can, if you want to learn really out of it, you have to practice it every day. You will get some query within it and try to put it in a similar fashion with your HR concepts. If you have any further question, you can ask.
No, sir.
Anybody else? So I hope that you have enjoyed these 2 days MDP session. And if you are really interested, have got any interest, please reply at gifts@gitaratan.edu.in so that we can get a feedback from you, so that we can arrange similar type of newer thoughts in HR analytics and metrics that are coming every day to make our life really effective in HR field. With this, I want to leave for this session. Thank you everyone for your participation, vibrant participation, and hope you have enjoyed.
Yes, it's a great practical session.
Very
Thank
nice,
you.
very
Thank
nice.
you.
And Professor Ghosh, I think
Yeah.
we can apprise the audience that we at Geeta Ratan have been organizing marketing analytics, financial analytics, and HR analytics.
Yeah.
And I mean, twice in a year, I would say. So we have got very good response for all three kind of different functional workshops. And definitely today's session was very good, both by the resource persons. So excellent practical session by you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all the participants. Hope
So,
I will get similar type of encouragement from you in future too. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You will receive your certificate. You will receive your certificate within 2 days.